What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Sports and Ram Podcast. Today, we're going over the Eastern Conference. First of all, I'm very glad that we're both actually rooting for our teams in the playoffs because it got pretty scary there at the end for me and James. You were fine, Mike, but it was just wild that it actually went down to game 82.
I thought it was going to change up differently, but
Yeah, not how I thought it was going to go, but
Yeah, I thought the Penguins were going to get in.
Mm-hmm. And then the Sabres were so close too, which was weird.
Yeah, but
it kind of felt like they were out of it for a while, but then they ended up being like right there. All right, so heading over to the Eastern Conference, going the best team of all time, Boston Bruins, against the Panthers. So, Mike, take it away.
I still don't like calling them the best team of all time.
Statistically.
I still feel like that 2017-18 Lightning team was better than these Bruins. I don't know why.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they probably would beat them in a series, but statistically,
Columbus Blue Jackets. Let's not be ridiculous. I have Boston winning this one only because Boston is Boston. They're a great team. I'm not going to say that they're not a great team. I just don't think they're the best team of all time. I love this matchup. This is one that I would love to see Florida take over Boston and just be like, yep, we did it again. Never trust anything from the regular season in the playoffs. However, I believe you have probably the best team in the playoffs without a doubt, and they're a playoff team. I mean, you have Krejci, you have Pasternak, you have Lindholm, you have, and that's not even the big guy. You still have Marchand, you still have Charlie Coyle, you still have all these guys that are just, their depth is insane. And then you have Ullmark and Swayman, right? If Ullmark just completely messes up and gives up 2-3 quickies in the first period, you throw in Swayman, who's top 5 or top 6 in the league in stats anyway for the number of starts.
He's starting tonight.
Swayman is?
Yeah, there's a bug going around the Bruins locker room. Bergeron might not play. They said Ullmark might not play.
That actually might be kind of big for the Panthers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Go out there and
you steal one on the road.
Yeah, that could change the series. I mean, I don't know. Momentum is everything in the playoffs, right? So if on the other hand, you have Florida with the absolute GOAT, Matthew Tkachuk, right? That dude has just been going crazy, not to mention Barkov and more. I don't know who's playing in net. Is it going to be Bobrovsky for Florida?
No, they just announced it's Lion. What's his name?
Oh, yeah,
so that kid's also been a beast too.
Off at the end of the year.
He's been doing really well recently, so I don't.
And that's the most important thing in the playoffs is a hot goalie.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could go anyway. I still will take Boston. I'm going to probably change it to Boston in 6. But I still like Boston in the series. Yeah. James, what do you think?
Yeah, I got Boston in 6 as well. But, I mean, I don't think it's going to be an easy, they're going to beat down on Florida, which a lot of people think. Like you just said, they have Tkachuk. They got Barkov. They got a bunch of guys on their team. I just think Boston's 4 lines are just absurdly good. They don't have one bad line on that team. They're all effective. They don't even really have a 4th line. And they're gonna hit you. Every line's hitting you. They're just that team's just a physical team. They forecheck hard. They're just they don't really give you time to do anything.
They don't. Yeah, that's a great point, honestly. Teams that need time to set up behind the net do horribly against Boston because Boston's always bringing 2 guys in deep on the forecheck. And I'm pretty sure that they hold a pretty aggressive defensive system in the neutral zone, which allows them it allows their defensemen to jump up into the play if they need to contribute offensively. But 2, it also traps the other team in their own zone for a while. So, yeah, I like your mind.
Yeah, I mean, I literally wouldn't be surprised if Florida won this series.
I would be a little bit surprised.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'd be a little surprised, but I'm saying I wouldn't be I would be more surprised if the Kraken beat the Avalanche than if Florida beat the Bruins.
Yeah, I agree.
Florida also they started turning up at the end of the year.
Yeah,
they're still kind of have momentum. I know they lost the last game of the year, but they're not a joke of a team at all.
The Bruins also lost quite a few games at the end of the year, but they're
Yeah.
also on the high of like,
Yeah,
oh,
they're
we're
just
the
like
best.
whatever.
That might screw them up too. They might be like, oh, we're the best. We're the best regular season team, and then get swept by Florida or
Yeah, that's what I'm
Columbus.
like. Boston has all the pressure on them. It's like Florida. It's like you're going against like the best team. It's like you're gonna be hungry. Like
Mhm. I got nothing to lose, so might as well just steal. I think that there's a realistic chance that with this bug going around or whatever it is, that they do steal one on the road, and that will change it. But I think ultimately the Bruins are just too good. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if they still win tonight, regardless of who's playing. Because, like you said before, even when Olmark's not even in, you have Swayman and everybody else who's out. Like you have guys that could just step up and do the exact same thing. Like the production is not going to be down just because you're missing a few guys. So it should be entertaining though. And like you said, James, the Panthers were really like they were kind of on the outside looking in for the playoff race, and then they just didn't lose. I don't know exactly what the win streak or the point streak was, but they looked awesome at the end of the year. They just got everything together. But they haven't really performed in the playoffs in recent memory at least. So
yeah,
yeah. All right. And then the next matchup, the Leafs against the Lightning.
I love this. I love this.
I was gonna say this might be one of the funniest matchups in the entire playoff.
There's all these matchups are good this year. Like this is the best playoffs in a while, in my opinion. Like and it didn't even start yet. It's like I'm so excited. I guess also the Islanders are in it too. So
Yeah, it doesn't help or it doesn't hurt that both our teams are in it, right?
yeah,
I I want Tampa Bay to win for just the memes, honestly. Like it'd be too funny. However, I think Toronto might figure it out this year.
I know it's
They might do it, man. They might come out like we're so beyond fed up of losing in the first round. It is time for us. Now, I don't think they're going to get past the second round, right? Because like I don't think that'll happen. But I think Toronto will take it not in 7. I think they'll take it in 6 because they're done risking the chance of getting to game 7, right? Game 7, anything could happen. That's like the most concerning period of time for any hockey team. Game 6, you're like, all right, we got this. Let's do it. Let's close this out, So I have Toronto in 6. I think it'll happen.
yeah. This series is just so like I don't even know. It's like one of those series. I got Toronto in 7 also. I just think I just don't see how they lose another first round. Like you just eventually got to win a series. And it's like guys like Matthews, like Mitch Marner, and like Tavares, like they gotta like carry the team. Like they gotta like Tavares is the captain. He's got to step up. Matthews, like you're like goal scorer. Like everyone just they got to carry over their regular season play into the playoffs for once. Like you can't just like, and obviously Tampa, they've been there. Like they've won 3 cups in the last whatever years. Like I don't know. I think I want Toronto to win so bad too. So it's like I'm a little like I don't know.
Do you think so? Last year was Toronto the home team? They were, right?
Yeah, they lost in 7. They lost the 7th game at home.
If Toronto can take game 1, that solidifies my idea of like, all right, they should be able to take them in 6. If Tampa takes game 1, then I'm like, I don't know. Like, let's see what happens game 2, obviously, but Tampa might just be able to roll with it. Tampa also does come out kind of weak to the start of series. So like last year they faced the Rangers and were down 2-0 and then ended up gentlemen sweeping them in 6 games. And it was like,
Yeah, it's like, and the thing is also it's like playoff Vasilevsky is like one of the best goalies ever. Like I think he's lost one back-to-back game once, and it was last year against the Rangers.
Yeah.
And then they won 4 in a row. So it's like that's insane.
That is ridiculous.
He doesn't lose 2 games in a row. Like I think off like a loss in the playoffs, he has like under like a goal against average.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's like a .97 or something.
Yeah, like it's that's But like, I don't know, because last year I thought Toronto was going to take it. They went up 3-2 in the series, if I'm not mistaken, and then they lost the last two games. Because I
Yeah,
was like,
it's
oh, there's Matthew. Like Matthew scored like some big goal. They won a game. I was like, and also, if I'm not mistaken, I think Toronto went up 2-0 in Game 7, and then they lost.
They did. I do remember that, dude. They just collapse when the pressure gets on them. They collapse. I think it's probably because Toronto's the biggest hockey city in the world, and if they have that much pressure, it's just going to make it harder on them. But I don't know. Like I said, I think there's a possibility that Toronto just says, "Screw it. We're done losing. We're done getting humiliated. We're not the joke of the league anymore, or we don't want to be at least. And let's get out of the first round."
Yeah, I also think it's like the best goalie they've had in a playoff. Like Samsonov, I think he's starting.
Yeah,
He's been pretty good this year. That's also been their issue is like goaltending and defense. Similar, to me they have a very similar situation to the Oilers, but I think they do have a better team. It's just McDavid's obviously McDavid.
yeah, I agree.
yeah. I'm gonna disagree with you guys. I'm actually gonna go Lightning in 7 because I'm just gonna go with I'm gonna guess history repeats itself again. I also think it would be just absolutely hilarious, but I just can't bet against a team that has so much postseason success, especially in the first round. I can't see them losing. I mean, it makes sense. Like the Leafs got to win one, right? Like just one. That's it. Go get bounced in the second round, but you got to get one series, right? Maybe.
It's also like a good point too, because like the Lightning might be looking at it like this might be like our last like run. I mean, obviously some of the players are getting older, and like I'm pretty sure some have to resign soon. So it's
They
like,
just re-signed a ton of them actually at the beginning of the year. They signed like 3 or 4 different players to 8-year deals.
yeah, no, I know. Yeah, that was
So
like Sorelli and like those guys, whoever it was. I think Point signed too. But I'm saying guys like Stamkos and Kucherov, I'm not really sure when their contracts are up.
I got to look it up. Stamkos, I think, might be getting closer than Kucherov. That's a good point, though. I mean, how much longer do you have?
Because it's like if you look to me, it's like kind of a similar thing, like the Penguins, like how they're kind of like done. Like they won their, it's very similar. They won their 3 cups. Then they were just a playoff team. Like they were just getting bounced out every year, and now they didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. They have Kucherov all the way up until 26-27
Oh
season.
wow.
Stamkos actually is probably pretty close to
Yeah, because
that
he's older now. Like I
contract.
feel like he's
Next year is Stamkos' last contract year, so
oh, okay.
but he has a no move clause completely. So you have those two at least. You got Vasilevsky for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell when they're going to stop, right? Like every team has to stop, right?
Yeah,
They
it took
can't
the
keep.
Penguins a while.
Yeah, it did take the Penguins a while. They have Vasilevsky until 27-28. I mean,
Yeah.
geez, they have everybody locked up for a while down there. It's that freaking sales tax, man.
Oh
It's
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
ridiculous. They need to make it easier for teams that have bad sales tax states.
Yeah, it's like actually crippling. It's so weird how there's not like anything to like combat that. And that's like a problem in every single sport.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why Tampa Bay or the Bucks were able to win a couple of years ago because they got Brady and then they signed anybody under the sun and it was like, oh yeah, take a few extra dollars less. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you're basically getting the same amount because you're not getting taxed like millions of dollars in New York.
Yeah, it's insane.
Damn, that's why New York sports teams haven't won recently.
Probably.
Probably.
So now we're gonna go into the Islanders series with the Carolina Hurricanes.
Speaking of New York sports teams, um,
Hmm.
you guys are gonna hate me, man.
Go ahead.
I love this series. It's a good series. Actually, I really freaking hate this series because I hate games. Can you get like if you guys could both lose, that'd be perfect.
I'm
You know
not
what I
sure.
mean? Doesn't happen that way. I'd be perfectly fine if the Rangers could like just skip to the Eastern Conference Final, but it's not going to happen. Um, I don't know, man. This is like such a toss up for me. Every
Yeah.
day I'm going back and forth and being like, the Isles will win it in 7. Then the next day I'm like, the Canes will win it in 7. Then on the next day, I'm like, both teams are just gonna crash, and then they're gonna have to cancel that round. And it's so tough. But I think because Carolina has home ice advantage, although we found out last year, it doesn't mean shit to them because they lost horribly in Game 7 against the Rangers. I think Carolina takes it in 7, only because they have just a pretty potent team. Now, with that being said, who do they have out? Who's the big player that they have out?
Yeah.
Yeah, Svechnikov. So he's a big performer. He's a playoff performer too. If that comes into play, if they're like, damn, we really needed him, and they probably will because the Islanders are really good at defensive strategy. It wouldn't surprise me if the Islanders took this in 7 or less. I don't think it'll be a 4-game series. I don't think it'll be a 5-game series. It'll either be 6 or 7. I have Carolina taking it though.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a little biased. I got Islanders in 6. I mean, like you said, it's just like this series and the Rangers series. It's just like I could just see it going either way. It's like basically like the same teams. Like it's very similar teams like playing each other. Like you got like Islanders and Canes who are like defensive powerhouses. They don't score many goals. They sit on leads, and then it's like you got the Rangers Devil series where it's like high powered offenses, like okay defenses. I don't know. I think the Islanders are just, you look at like Barzell coming back is like a game changer to me because you got a guy like Horvat who, I mean, if you look at stats, like yeah, he wasn't doing that great, but like I watch every Islander game, like he was still playing well. He just wasn't really like getting on the score sheet. I think Barzell coming back, he's gonna start like putting the puck in the net, and it's just gonna kind of like make the offense. The power play needs him so bad. It's been so like the power play is already bad to begin with. Without him, it was hard to watch.
They
Like
just
I would
couldn't
rather
get the
not
puck
even
in the
get a
zone.
power play.
Yeah, I forgot what game it was, but they were literally talking about. I think it was the last game. They were like, "Yeah, we would rather not have a power play right now."
Yeah, it's been bad,
Yeah,
and like I don't know.
So my question, I got 2 questions, right? So first thing is based off of a stat that I saw, right? When Barzell and Horvat were playing together, and now I know it's like skewed because there was an adjustment period for Horvat, but the Islanders were like 1-8-2 in that period, right? Like just didn't
I
have
don't think it was
time.
that bad.
It was all right. Maybe it wasn't that bad, but it was like a pretty bad stretch that they had the first 10 games or so that they played. Barzell got injured right thereafter, and Horvat wasn't producing as much. I mean, he just generally hasn't produced as much, which I think is the byproduct of the system. But like you're saying, he definitely is a great performer. He definitely has high level skill. Like I think he's worth that contract. Um, However, we're going back now into an adjustment period for the Islanders where it's Barzell and Horvat probably playing on the same PV unit, or do they play on the same line?
Yeah, they're both the first line.
Yeah, so first line, right? Are they going to be able to adjust quickly enough for high level, high intensity, playoff action when even in the regular season they were struggling to find that connection? Like there wasn't that initial like, oh my god, they're going to be scoring 3 goals a game for that line, you know what I mean? Like they're going to be the top producers, the power play is going to be going crazy. I'm a little concerned about that. Now, obviously, with that being said, the Islanders defense, it doesn't matter. Like with Sorokin and the Islanders defense, if you have a 1-goal lead, you could be like, oh, thank the Lord. You know what I mean? Like, let's take a little bit of a breath. Hopefully the third line or fourth line, particularly the fourth line, comes out there and just like scores a little squeaker goal, tip in, whatever the hell it's going to be. I'm just concerned about that top line, right? Are they going to be able to connect enough and get over that adjustment period where, all right, the offense isn't a problem anymore? Because if Carolina gets out to a lead, gets out, kind of runs away with the game by the half of the period, then it's a more of a concern for me, therefore, or kind of going against it though. If the Islanders get a 1-2 goal lead by the 40-minute mark, you're pretty comfortable at that point.
Since they acquired Horvat, there hasn't really been a lot of time for, first of all, for Horvat to adjust. Now he's probably very adjusted. But then Barzell got hurt, so they didn't really have that much time together to play. So that's definitely a fair point.
I thought they had good chemistry like right away. Like
They
from
definitely
just
did look
watching
good.
their games, like it's like they just like fed off each other pretty well. And I mean, they practiced together for a few days now. I know obviously practice isn't the same thing as an actual game.
Yeah.
But I think Horvat, it's like it kind of will spark him a little bit too. It's like, all right, now it's like I don't have an excuse. Like almost like I have the guy that needs to feed me the puck. And I know Barzell is like gonna be the only thing that I'm a little nervous about, just like his like legs, like if he's gonna be like the Barzell we know, like if his endurance is there and stuff.
What did he end up hurting? Was it a lower body
Yeah,
injury?
it was just like
Just a
his
lower
leg,
body
like his
injury.
foot or something.
So yeah, I don't think, but I mean, like you were saying, his energy, it is kind of hard to like get acclimated energy wise and stamina wise into the game. But I thought maybe an injury would possibly be lingering and he would be rushing it back. Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he'll be all right. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a good series anyway, though. I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
watching.
and and obviously I'd like back to like I have Islanders in 6. Like obviously the Islanders have a better goalie. Like I mean Ranta starting tonight. He's only lost 3 games this year, but like I think that doesn't really mean anything to me.
Ranta is not. He's not immortal.
Yeah,
Sorokin is like basically immortal.
yeah. I
I
mean
mean, like
that's the thing
Sorokin.
too. It's like Sorokin just got to do like his thing. Like I'll feel confident.
Sorokin basically dragged you guys to the Eastern Conference Final against Tampa, even in a year where he was like they were questioning whether or not he was going to be the starter. And then I think there were a couple games where they were like, "Hey, this is the thing with Sorokin. I love Sorokin, right? Like he and Shesterkin, I think, are number 1 and 2 in the league, maybe tied with Vasilevsky. Sorokin likes to give up a lot of goals from time to time, right? Like he'll just like blow up for a game and then come back and shut out the team with like 40 saves the next night. I think if Sorokin like lets it get into his head early, like if Carolina comes out and is like, boom, 4 goals first night, like 4 the next night, that might be troublesome. And that might be where things can kind of go south for the Islanders. But like you're saying, if they kind of just like run the course and do what they were doing, have that good defense, have the quick like counter attack offense. I don't know. It's really a tough matchup to tell. This is like this is the closest matchup in my eyes in terms of the entire playoffs. Is Islanders Carolina, just because of how, and I mean standings don't reflect how good the Islanders were, and standings also don't reflect necessarily how okay the Hurricanes were. Like
Yeah.
they ran away with the standings in the beginning of the year and then started falling off, and we're pretty close to not even getting a matchup against you guys this round. So
I think the Islanders offense really stepped it up too in like the last half of the season. Like they were at, like in the beginning of the year, it's like they were winning games by scoring 2-3 goals. And they started they mixed up the lines. They obviously they got Horvat. Uh Engvall has been very good for the Islanders, a sneaky pickup there. Paul Mary started turning it up. Like I don't know, I just think everyone's like starting to like find their game almost, and it's a good time to do that.
Yeah. And
yeah,
Brock's been absolutely amazing as
Yeah.
always.
he's been really good. I could talk about it for hours, but one thing I want to say that like my final kind of word on this is I bet you the first goal from the Islanders comes off either a broken play that comes from the corner, like a overload type play, or B, a tip in. There's no chance. Like you guys are the masters at the tip in. I swear, bro. Every single player on that team has big tipper on their on their loadout because they are. I mean, just watch the way it comes up every single time. It's a below the net to the point, put it on, put it onto the net in some form, and it's either tipped or redirected in some way. Or it comes from the corner from those deep grindy lines, like the third and fourth line. They put it into the corner and then right to the slot, and then it's a score. There's very few rush chances for the Islanders, whereas I think that's more Carolina's suit. So,
Yeah. So the Canes, since Svechnikov's injury, have been 9-9-1. So pretty mediocre since his injury. And I think one of the main things is that they're kind of like you kind of said before, they're built similarly in that they don't have a good power play. And the power play used to, I mean, you talk about like the Lightning. The Lightning murdered the Islanders on the power play. So I think that's going to be a very key factor in this. And I would also go Isles in 6. Maybe it goes to game 7, but I got the Islanders winning.
Yeah, but it's funny you said that. Like both teams have like a really good penalty kill and then like not a good power play.
Exactly. It's a recipe for 0 power play goals the whole entire series. So we'll see.
Like 7 shorthanded goals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. And then the final matchup that we're going to talk about, the Rangers and the Devils.
I don't want to talk about it.
You have to.
Me and Steve will go first, so you
you guys go first, so I could I could think about what I want to talk about.
Yeah, so for me, this series is just like I actually don't know. Like it's just very up in the air. Like I know like some series are like that, but this one I think is the most for me. I have Rangers in 7 just for the fact because I'm just going with the better goalie. Like Igor's obviously better than Vanacek. And it's very hard to it's hard to tell what the Devils are gonna do. Like we haven't seen like this team in the playoffs. So like I don't know how like guys like Jack Hughes are gonna like react. Like the Rangers are a pretty physical team, like they know what it takes. The Devils have like a few like Dougie Hamilton, he's been in some playoff games. I don't even know who else. Yeah, this series just like is gonna be really fun to watch. I'm just Rangers in 7 just because of Igor. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm 100%. I think the Rangers are going to take it. I'm going to say in probably 7, but I wouldn't be surprised if they take it in game 6. It's just pretty much piggybacking off what you said. Just like it's a high powered offense and not great goaltending. And then it's just people that really haven't performed. Like the stars of their team are young, small dudes who just have not been in the playoffs yet. So we really have no idea. And they could come out and just put up 10 goals somehow. Like
that's the
with their
thing.
high-powered offense.
That's the whole thing. You really don't know how they're like. I need to watch like game 1, and then I would be able to tell you.
Almost. Yeah, you could be able to tell like how they're gonna be able to perform. But there's no way that I'm going against the Rangers in this, especially with the additions, especially with the better goaltending. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't even bring up that. You have a friggin' Showtime Patrick Kane, who's literally like a monster in the playoffs. Like,
yeah. And then Tarasenko obviously is proven as well.
So this is my take on it. Rangers in 4. No, I think Rangers will take it in 6, honestly. And I don't want to jinx myself. So knock on wood, pray to the hockey gods, everything, right? Like I hate doing this with my own team because last year I was like, oh, the Pens are going to ruin the Rangers. You know what I mean? And then they ended up winning in 7. I was like, the Canes are going to smoke the Rangers. Took it in 7. And then I was like, all right, the Rangers are good. And then they got kind of embarrassed by Tampa Bay. The Rangers have really good offense. I mean, it's pretty potent, right? Like we're talking about arguably 2 of the top, or like the top 2 lines might be the best top 6 in the NHL, right? Like it's a pretty close matchup between them and like the other top battles for the top 6 lines. The defense is the issue, right? Like we have some bums on defense. If Keandre Miller keeps playing the way that he did for the last 41 games, Rangers are screwed. If the Rangers are actually relying on Braden Schneider and freaking Nico Mikkola to be their shutdown third line and like go against some heavy bottom lines, Rangers are screwed. However, we also have like Jacob Trouba, who I used to hate, and now I've kind of started to love, who I'll probably hate again once he takes a couple of penalties. But if he goes and like pops somebody's head off in the first round, it's gonna be great. It's gonna like, that's kind of what the Rangers need. This series reminds me a lot of the Rangers versus the Hurricanes in the Bubble Cup in the play-in round, where The Rangers went in there. They were this fast-paced team, had a bunch of young talent, bunch of quick movers. Panarin's first year on the team. Zibanejad and Kreider started to really come together. It looked like a really good chance for the Rangers to like come out and show off. And then Carolina first like shift of the game, I think it was like Jesper Foss just like murdered somebody on the Rangers. And it was just like, damn, the Rangers needed to wake up. It was their first time making the playoffs in like 3 or 4 years. And they just were humiliated. They were not ready for playoff hockey. And I think that's kind of what's going to happen to the Devils is you have a high-powered team, a team that's incredibly offensively gifted and defensively gifted, but aren't built for that playoff matchup, right? Like the Rangers could come in there and just crush the Devils. I mean, like literally like Thanos snap and have them all evaporate. You know what I mean? Like it could be that. It also could be what you guys are saying is the Devils could come out and score 6 goals in the first game and the Rangers could be deflated from it. So it is going to be kind of tough for the Rangers to keep their own and make sure that they're not getting screwed up by this young team. However, I think Shesterkin, Trouba, I think that those first 2 lines of Kreider, Zibanejad, and Kane, and Panarin, Trocheck, and Tarasenko, I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to compete against that, right? Like if they can come down and really show what playoff hockey is about, I have Rangers in 6. Yeah. So long-winded.
Yeah, I think also for both sides, like line matchups are going to be like huge. Like you're not going to want like Patrick Kane on the ice while Jack Hughes is like on the ice.
Yeah.
Like you don't want like your defensive liabilities like on the ice against the other team.
That's true. Yeah, Kane can definitely.
And like Panarin is like not very great in the defensive zone either. So, but then you have someone like Zibanejad. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think like Zibanejad and Trocheck and like Tarasenko, even Kreider are kind of like those counteractions.
Yeah.
Panarin and Kane they are defensive liabilities. I think the other 4 can kind of make up for that, but I don't know. It's up to the Rangers defense and goaltending. If Igor plays the way he has been playing for the past 10 games or so and basically stands on his head, which he has been, I think he's been the best goalie in the league for the past 10 games, maybe with the exception of like Alex Lyon. I don't know. Please don't prove me wrong, Rangers. Like, please just get to the second round and see where we can go from there. I'm sick and tired of my team not winning the cup, man. It's been my entire freaking life. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, trust me, we know it hurts.
I know you guys know. Sick of it. We're sick of it. Damn it! I almost don't even care if the Islanders win the cup.
Bring the cup back to New York.
Stop lying.
I want a New York team to win the cup. It's kind of sick and ridiculous. Yeah,
it's gonna be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, James, what's funny is we got to bring up what we were saying the other day. If the Rangers and Islanders meet up in the second round, nothing matters. Yeah. No other playoff series matters. It almost doesn't matter if they win the cup after that. It's like whoever wins that series now has the bragging rights.
Yeah.
Or until they play again or until the next team wins a cup. It's like, and I actually might disown your entire side of the family. So expect not to talk to me if that's the matchup in the second round.
That would be absolutely insane. I hope it happens, but I'm also like scared for that to happen for that exact reason.
Me too, man. But it's gonna be terrible. This playoffs, like I'm sick to my stomach about this playoffs. I don't know about you guys. I literally have knots in my stomach. I'm excited and anxious, but like I'm scared to shit. I swear to God, I don't know what's gonna happen. So that's why I got my
hours away
Victor jersey on.
Nice.
Get some 94 hopes going.
All right, but yeah, those are the matchups. Those are predictions. There's a lot of things that could go either way.
Who's your cup winner?
The Islanders.
Is it lame? I got the Rangers.
Yeah, I got the Islanders.
All right. Aside from your own team, without bias, who do you actually think is going to win the cup?
Stars.
I think this might be an unpopular choice, but I kind of think that Connor McDavid is on like this vision quest to just accomplish
way.
everything.
I wish I would be happy that he won.
I don't know if it's gonna happen.
If it's not the Islanders, I don't want the East to win. So it's like I would be
Yeah,
cheering for
always
any
like
West
that.
team.
I think I don't know.
If he wins a cup with that goalie, like in that defense, like then he's just the best player. Like I don't know what else to say.
I really think that if there's any way for like one person to just literally carry a team, like McDavid will find a way. He's a guy that literally said, "Yeah, I want to win the Rocket Richard just because I haven't yet," and then he goes and scores 64 goals. So
Yeah,
I think Boston. I think Boston is the one that'll just win because they need to win, and they're just. I hate Boston so much, man. I hate Boston sports. I hate how much they've won in the past like 15, 20 years. But they're gonna do it. Like it hurts me to say, but
yeah, they're just too good. It's like hard to. We haven't really seen them be not amazing. Like obviously they dropped a couple games towards the end of the year, but like they've just been
which
consistent.
team in the West aside from Colorado can beat Boston? None.
Dallas.
No way. No way.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. There's no way. Dallas will not beat Boston.
I can't really like straight up say a team will beat Boston at this point. Like regardless.
Yeah, any team could beat any team.
I guess so.
That is true.
I guess so. We shall see, boys. Let's watch it unfold.
Yeah,
tonight.
we'll be watching Hurricanes Devils next round.
I really hope not. I really hope not.
I wouldn't even watch.
And we
that.
could all jump off the same bridge together if that happens.
Yeah, we'll jump into the Hudson.
Yeah. Oh God.
Hudson Fashing first goal tonight because you said that.
All right. He's actually been great, Hudson Fashing.
Yeah. Another like random like good pickup. Like people say stuff about Lou, like obviously because like he's never got like the big name people, but like Fashing, Engvall, and Horvat have been like huge for the Islanders this year.
People say stuff about Lou because he's like dementiated.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, that covers the Eastern Conference and our predictions for each matchup. So hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time.
Let's go Isles, baby.
Let's go Rangers.